Alrighty. Well, someone's saying some food here. I don't need to tell you who this is. I'll tell you what though, fuck me drunk. Like, those of you who live in Australia, have a look at this. Have a look at this. You know, that's fucking greens. That's supposed to be a pork chop covered in gravy. I don't know what that is there. And that's supposed to be mac and cheese. Now, you know, I'll put it like this. Just like there's no Chevs in Tokyo, why don't we ever see any Chevrolets in Tokyo? There's a reason, Mr. President. High quality Japanese don't need shitty Chevs. And guess what? Australia's another one of these countries where we run on high quality, not fucking goddamn fucking pig food. You know, I know it's soul food. I know it might be traditionally what you have. And I know you might think Australia's British, but you'd be very, very wrong in regards to all that shit. You know, Australians with British food is a bit like what a German told me about sauerkraut. It's only the old people that eat all the preserved fucking sauerkraut and other preserved fucking hogwash that you'd expect Russians to be eating. It's only the old people, 70 years old and that, in Germany, who are eating sauerkraut. Everybody else is on the fresh stuff. You know, and while British food was fucking horse shit, most Australians eat a lot of other stuff because of all the other influences here. Asian food, Italian food, stuff like that. But I tell you what, you know, like, oh, it's soul food. Well, this might fly in America, but I tell you what, that to me, you know, oh, these collards are so fucking good. Tell us, Elvis.
Hey, in Valdosta, Georgia, this has got to be the best soul food I ever had. This is pork chop with grit.
Well, you'd never know it's fucking pork chop. I mean, look at the damn thing. You know, I thought it was fucking mashed potato, for God's sake. This here, tell us, Elvis.
You smell the pork chop, man? Collard greens, man, these collard greens are so good. I don't know what's in them, but they're so good.
You know what that fucking looks like? It looks like tinned fucking spinach. That looks like shit.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese? How'd they make it? Did they put it all in a fucking plastic bag and then run over it with a pickup truck? I mean, for God's sake. I tell you what, this sort of stuff, it may fly in America, as many low-quality things do seem to fly in America. I tell you what, if you served up that sort of shit in Australia, right, your business would last for 1 week. You would probably face 2 or 3 times in that 1 week where people would literally bowl this like a fucking cricket ball straight over the fucking counter. I mean, you'd be there and the shit would just go flying over the fucking counter and skidding on the floor, if not hitting the fucking wall. Like, if you were serving up this sort of shit, that doesn't even pass in a fucking truck stop. That is fucking crap compared to what we've got here. You know, you really would not fucking survive. I know, it's American food for Americans. I understand that. The more I look at it, the more I realise the low quality that Americans are used to. And the high quality that we expect. That, I mean, fuck me, it looks like this is the sort of shit the Navy eats when it's 2,000 miles out in the fucking sea. I'm sure it fucking meets American standards, but I'm sorry. If you had that sort of shit in Australia, holy shit, you would just, the first day you would be so pummeled with bad reviews that it just, you'd be a fucking laughingstock. You'd be open for a week. People would not pay, people would swear at you, people would throw this shit over your counter, possibly even fucking dump it straight on your fucking shirt. That is fucking horse shit. You know, nobody fucking eats stuff like that. Hey, maybe they did when they were on the fucking ships coming from England, but that time's changed, you know. God damn, I've never seen a bunch of food that is showing off. It looks like it's all come out of a fucking can, for God's sake. Fuck me. I'm not pissed off or anything, I'm just saying, like, fuck me. The American standards of quality are fucking on the fucking ground groveling in the mud compared to the rest of the world. I'm just saying, you know, this is some of the reason why you have trouble selling your fucking cars overseas. You're bringing in cars from this, from that, from... Oh, thank God the fucking Koreans have done a deal where we can sell double the amount of cars back to them that they could sell on. What for? You see the newer Hyundais? Who wants one of these fucking, you know, goddamn fucking Chrysler versus you compare the interior of a fucking Chrysler, even these Chrysler Crossfires that I was looking at. You compare the interior of them. They look like a fucking cheap Chinese space heater, what we call a blow heater. That's what the fucking buttons on the dash looks like. Looks like I could punch me fist through the goddamn dash of these Chryslers. You know, there's a reason why Korea and Japan don't need American cars. And you know, a lot of this shit's been trained into the American psyche, you know. I've known people that are in, like, it's almost like the corporations have trained you to expect low quality shit. It's like Starbucks didn't survive in this country. Why? Because it was just a big bunch of fucking sugar with a bit of coffee, you know. As one guy said in comments on all this shit, they had a video by, I don't know, I think it was CNBC or some fucking thing, one of these ones, and or CBC, well, some fucking news service, and basically, why didn't Starbucks survive in Australia? Because it was fucking shit. That's why. It was fucking horse shit. It was dramatically overpriced coffee, 4 or 5 times the price of what we used to paying, and it wasn't coffee. As one guy said in the comments, and he said it best, I prefer a bit of sugar with me coffee, not a bit of coffee with me sugar. You know, just a big bloody bucket full of sugary shit. And soybean fucking milk in the damn thing, you know. That's why Starbucks didn't survive. And this video went on to sort of say that, you know, well, the Australians have got to be trained to fucking love the Starbucks shit. No, we don't. No, we don't. This is a customer-centric fucking country. You either work that out or you fucking financially die in the arse. And that's the way it works. And that's what happened to Starbucks. You know, they come over here, oh, we can just absolutely bring a photocopy version straight in, boom, bang, won't be a problem. McDonald's has got what they call McCafe, but they actually listened to the local market, didn't just make a photocopy of the American version and then go, oh, why the fuck didn't it work, you know? You know, it's crap. And they went on as though, you know, the consumer in Australia has to be trained. Oh, fuck no. Nobody's going to train us. You meet our fucking standards or you go bankrupt. That's the way it works in this country. Ain't no government bailouts like you have over there either. You know, free market, blah, blah, blah. Fucking hell. Free market? No. Crony capitalism. I'm not going to go into all the crony capitalism you got over there versus what we don't have here in terms of crony capitalism, where they will let large companies fold, you know, and occasionally, very occasionally, with a lot of mucking around, they might give you a loan. But don't be surprised if it almost comes too late, you know. But you look at some of this stuff and you think, what the fuck, you know? It's just... Vans that same dude showed. Vans that are like fucking the price of a fucking new Mercedes sedan in America. You know, they're like 4 times the price of what I can get a Chinese van for, and the Chinese van is a better quality than your fucking Dodge vans. You know, they got this idea that, oh, the consumer should be trained. Fucking bullshit. The consumer trains a fucking company. It's the way it fucking rolls here. You know, there's been... I know people in the auto industry right in the depths of it, and they've told me that there's been chances, and GM actually followed through with this, with all your Los Angeles vehicles, Los Angeles cop cars, they're all built in Australia. Yeah, your Chev cop car in Los Angeles was built here. As quite a few different Chevs were, but... Ford had the option to, you know, get similar contracts by selling left-hand drive vehicles that were built in Australia. And you know what they said? We don't want to give them the Australian model family car as a police car in America, because if enough American police drive it, and then it gets sold onto the civilian market later on, the American consumer will expect more of Ford America based on American police cars that eventually make it to the civilian market that were built in Australia. And once the cops see and the word gets out that Ford can build vehicles this good, then they'll expect Ford America to lift their game, because the American consumer will expect more based on this handful of fucking cop cars that were built in Australia. So they said, nah, we're not going to bother. Not going to do it. Because then, you know, all of a sudden it's like, well, the consumer's going to expect better shit. So we can't fucking give them any good shit, and we'll just keep pushing this fucking rubbish, and they'll expect it. For lack of knowledge of what all the other countries are driving, you know. Fucking hell, I tell you what, you know. There's a good reason why some things that are American, the rest of the world is not interested in. And one of those reasons, besides from predatory capitalism, is just quality standards are just fucking crap. You don't know how bad you've got it. You really don't. And this idea of American exceptionalism is just people blowing smoke up their own fucking arse. You know, there's so much of this stuff that I see that is, you know, well, look at this. This is an American first, all American crazy. Fucking bullshit. Japan's had it for 8 years. It was never an American creation. They're squealing like hell about China and intellectual properties. And there's so much shit that's coming to America, dubbed as an American first and an American only innovation, blah, blah. And it's fucking copied off the Japanese, who have had the shit for 8 years, you know. Nothing new, you know. We've seen some of these things even hit this country, and then America has it, and it's like, whoa, magic. Nah. I knew about it years ago, years before it became available in America, because I saw it become available in Japan, and if I really wanted, I could have got it here. You know, on the civilian market, we're able to get drones that are Kawasaki drones that use a Kawasaki motorbike engine, and they're quite expensive. They're around $20,000–$25,000, but they're fucking huge. They're half the length of your fucking family car. There's one getting around these parts that's used for weed spraying. It literally has a fucking motorbike engine in it, and this thing can carry a fair weight, and it's a fair powered device, as you could well imagine. You know, this is stuff that a civilian fucking owns. You know, never be, oh, look at this little fucking, fuck that shit. We got fucking petrol powered drones here. You know, you want to really know about drones? I've seen footage from fucking 92 or sometime around then. Early 90s, it might have been 93, 94. Full blown, not fucking propeller powered, a jet powered drone landing on the fucking landing strip in Germany, built by German engineers. Not fucking 10 years ago. This is like 24 fucking years ago, 25 years ago. You know? It's a lot of the world that's so far ahead, and yet this American exceptionalism thing, that belief exists because there's not enough Americans going overseas and seeing what everybody else has fucking got already and had for years. Anyway, it's just my little fucking spasm there, you know, not insulting anyone's culture, I'm just saying. There comes a time where sometimes you realise there's reasons why Americans quite ain't in touch with the rest of the fucking world, and you know, I can see it, being a foreigner, I can see it.